Welcome to a delayed edition of the Week 3 recap and Week 4 nonsense. Let's open with a stat of the week for our Vikings friends because it's Vikings-Packers week, and I think they outnumber us anyway. When Sam Darnold is under pressure, he is 25th in the NFL in yards per completion. When he's not under pressure, he leads the league in yards per completion. Now, combine that with the Packers not being great at generating pressure. Most of their pressure comes up the middle from Kenny Pickett. He's got a 10% pressure rating. That's about average, maybe a little less than average. Great pressure rating is usually in the teens to 20s. Every once in a while, we see a freak performance. Last week, that was Myles Garrett, who had like a 33 or 35% pressure rating. So, yeah, could be a long day if you're a Packers fan. Could be a great day if you are a Vikings fan. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. These are numbers. I'm just throwing them out there. Anyway, let's talk about our league. Nobody cares about the NFL. It's all about fantasy, right? Which is NFL tangentially related. Whatever. There are no more undefeated teams. There are no more winless teams. Parity, what a way to go. And we're not even a quarter of the way through the season yet. So who could have seen this coming? Not I. It does spare me the agony of having to do a deep dive on, your odds of making the playoffs if you're 0-3, 0-4. But now that gives me a good idea to kind of go back and look at our, I don't know what you would call it, sister league, precursor league, whatever. The old league that we had for like 15 years that was kind of based off of, or that awful was kind of based off of. I'll take a look at that and kind of see if I can gin up some numbers to give everybody a little bit of false hope. We'll do that. We'll do that later this week. Anyway, free agent highlights, because I love free agent highlights. There wasn't a lot of shocking going on. One move that I really liked, we dropped Trevor Lawrence for Justin Fields. I was a pretty big fan of that. How the mighty have fallen. Poor Trevor Lawrence. You got to wonder what week Doug Peterson gets fired now, right? Does he make it past like week 8 this year? Probably not, especially if they lose this week. It could be the writing on the wall in Jacksonville. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is a bust. He certainly doesn't look that good, but who knows what'll happen. Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence. That's where we're at. So kudos to Big Mike for the big roll of the dice. That's cool. It was fun to see that both Joe and I sniped defensive ends from Carl, sending him back to the wire. He had to settle for old-ass Kyle Van Noy, who also has back-to-back games with 2 sacks. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the win that I was hoping it was, but we'll see. And, of course, Joe, who was counting on Boye Mafe, now needs to go back to the wire this morning to find somebody to fill in because Mafe is out. Slam bam world of fantasy football. The big news, however, I don't want to gloss over it. We had a big trade. If you see this big wall of text here, a 6-player trade, three guys per side. I think that counts as 6 players, right? Carl sent Derrick Henry, George Pickens, and Eric Kendricks to Ryan. Now, I don't know if this is collusion or not. It's probably not collusion. I like to say that word and make everybody clench their butt cheeks a little bit. Ryan sends Kirk Cousins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Tony Pollard in return. Honestly, on the surface, it feels like a pretty good trade. Kendricks currently your LB1, but that's really by way of a 31-point outing in week 1. So you have to think he's going to kind of filter back down to like that LB 12 to 15 range, which is still really good. Nothing wrong with that. Pickens, honestly, is probably waiver wire fodder at this point. There was a lot of excitement about him this year when Russell Wilson was supposed to be the quarterback. But now with Justin Fields under center, I just don't see it happening for him. Now, Fields was able to turn DJ Moore, or keep DJ Moore fantasy relevant, I suppose. DJ Moore was already pretty fantasy relevant beforehand. But with Pickens, the ADOT is just a little too high, the average depth of target. I came armed with some stats to reference here if you guys wanted to see. So here's George Pickens, some advanced stats. Right now, he's got a 12 ADOT, which is down a little bit from his 13.5 ADOT. What does that mean? Well, he's running too far downfield to really do anything other than make a long touchdown, right? So he's already 12 yards downfield before the ball's getting thrown to him. And when that happens, yeah, you're either going to catch it, run for a touchdown, or miss it, or get tackled right away. For reference, here's DJ Moore, 2022 8-13 ADOT. And yeah, there's really no ability to run after the catch. He only had like 2.9. Last year with Justin Fields, his ADOT came down to a much more reasonable 10. Really, you'd like it 8 to 10, somewhere in there. Yak went way up. This year he's at 8. Yak is much higher. So you can see Pickens right now, he's only got 1.4 Yak. So I don't know. Things need to change in that offense with Arthur Smith before you can get really excited for George Pickens to break out. Like I said, probably waiver wire fodder, if not for this trade. I digress. Really, it seems to boil down to King Henry versus Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And in that regard, I feel like it's pretty even. Henry might be a one-year rental. We'll see if there's much tread left on the tires. Jared Goff kind of needs to come back to earth. He's been not playing in a heavenly way. What's the opposite of that? Really badly? I don't know. Jared Goff needs to find himself to kind of make Amon-Ra St. Brown a little more relevant. He had a couple good outings back-to-back weeks now, so maybe things are turning around, but we'll see. Definitely want some more consistency from the quarterback in Detroit. So yeah, when we boil it all down, Henry for ARSB, I think it's all right. The grade-o-meter, I'd give it a B+. A lot of players move, which is fun. It's mostly mutually beneficial, which is fine. The only loser here is the rest of us that were hoping one of these guys would have gotten fleeced, which I don't think either of them did. So there you have it. Last week's side missions. I forgot about side missions. It was Immaculate Receptions. Let me pull up the old spreadsheet. Immaculate Receptions. Now, I went through, did the math. This was a close one. This was a sweat. Coral had me nervous. Coral came in third, though. He had 33 catches last week. Second place was Brent with 34 catches. So it is kind of sweet in that those two guys both came very close and missed. Neither of them won a side mission last year. The winner of this week's side mission, Immaculate Receptions, was Shane Bauer with 35 catches. So we'll update the old spreadsheet. 35 receptions. Congratulations to Shane. He wins his first side mission. So the two new guys have both won a side mission this year. Congrats to both of you. This was not fixed in any sort of way. Like I said, these are really, truly ungameable. So kudos to them. Let's figure out what our week 4 side mission is going to be before things kick off. Spin the wheel. Nice. The Grody. The Grody goes to the team with the most sacks and stuffs, which is Grody. So, Grody, sacks and stuffs. So, a defensive week where we get to cheer on sacks and stuffs. I like it. we'll check in with that one later on, see who comes away with it. That's about it. What else do we have to watch for? Oh, the free agent squad. Free agent squad, of course, took another L last week. We only put up 122, so we're moving backwards a little bit. However, this week we're off to a good start. 12 points from something called Tyler Newbin. Yeah, I think I'm learning that really I just have to take shots. It's boom or bust. So made a couple big plays this week for guys that hopefully have breakout games. Free agent squad continues to take their lumps, though. So we'll watch that. We'll keep everybody abreast of any recent developments there. Otherwise, in our league, a showdown for the first place spot between Team Dylon and the Vultures. So we'll have to see if somebody can come out on top there, walk away with the first place spot. Also excited to see Joe versus Ryan here. It's already a dogfight after Thursday night. Joe, of course, needs to find a D-end prior to kickoff. We're all hoping to see Ryan go down 1-3 and watch him flail a little bit more here in the coming weeks. So best of luck to Joe. I know we're all on his side. That's all I got, though. Enjoy your Sundays. Go footballs. Perfect. Signing off. We'll catch you guys later.